Hey guys, and welcome back. So in this section, we'll talk about arrow functions and why exactly are they useful and how exactly are they solving the issues that we had with callback functions that we had in JavaScript. Okay, so I have already created a TypeScript file named arrows.ts, and then I have already added the arrows.js file in the script tag inside my index.html, and I'm already running tsc arrows.ts in watch mode, so it converts my arrows.ts file into JavaScript file. Okay, so let me just close all the other files and I'll go back to the arrows.ts. All right, so now let's just first see what arrow functions are. So the normal functions in JavaScript looks like this: get, or say print hello, and then they simply log. We'll simply log in hello to the console. Okay, and we'll call the print hello function here. Save this, and let's go back to the browser and reload, and it prints out hello. Now this is the way of defining normal functions in JavaScript. Suppose this was an anonymous function, so I'll say something like print hello anonymous. Then we'll do something like this, and then it will again log hello to the console, and then I can call the print hello anonymous. Since this particular variable references this function, so it essentially is a function and we can call it using this. If I save this now, it's going to print hello 2 times, and that's what we get. Okay, now let's consider a scenario wherein we have an object, say user. Okay, and that user object has a first name field, say John, a last name field, say Doe, and it has our good old get full name function. Get full name. This is going to be an anonymous function that we made here, something like this. Okay, so this would be a function that would return another function, okay, inside which it will log the full name of this user is this dot first name and space this dot last name. Okay, now I can do something like user dot get full name, call it. Now the call to this function would return another function, so I can call it by using this. Okay, so let's again have a look at what's going on here. User is an object that has a function named get full name that would return a function that we're calling by using this. Okay, so now what I would expect this to do is this should log the get full name of this user or the it should log the text the full name of this user is John Doe onto the console, right? So let's just comment out the function calls that we had earlier, save this, and then let's reload and see. So it says that the get full name of this user is undefined and undefined. Okay, let's have a look at what's going on in the background here. I'll click on this link here. It will open the JavaScript representation of whatever we wrote there, and I'll place a breakpoint here. Okay, now let me just reload this, and now if I hover over this, it's saying that this is the window object. Okay, but I was expecting this to be the user object wherein I had access to the first name and last name. Okay, so here this is a particular case of scope change wherein the scope is getting changed here and the scope is getting reset to the window object, which does not have things like first name and last name properties on it. And that's why we are seeing, let me just run this again, we are seeing the full name of this user as undefined in this case. Okay. So what can be done to fix it? Well, in this case, we can use arrow functions. So if I wanted to convert this particular function into an arrow function, what I will do is I'll simply replace the function keyword. I'll remove it and then I'll place a fat arrow. Just a second. Okay, so I'll place a fat arrow between the parenthesis and the curly braces. Okay, what I did again, this was our normal function, okay, anonymous function. I removed the function sign and I placed a fat arrow in between the parenthesis and the curly braces, and this makes it an arrow function. Okay, now to do something similar over here, what we can do is I can remove the function keyword from here and then place an arrow, fat arrow syntax in between the parenthesis and the curly braces. And let's now see if this solves the problem. Okay, so if it does solve the problem, then I should see the full name of this user is John Doe onto the console. Okay, so let me just reload this, and this is the representation that we had of the TypeScript into JavaScript, and it says now that the full name of the user is John Doe. Okay, so what the arrow function is doing is it's maintaining the scope of this keyword that we have here, that is used to represent this object instead of reassigning it to the window object. Okay, that was the case with anonymous functions that we had initially, but to solve this problem, ES6 came up with this fat arrow functions syntax, or arrow function syntax, basically, to solve that problem. Okay, so this is something that we will be using in a lot of sections, basically, and mainly in the sections where we would be using we would be creating custom validators for our forms. Okay, so next up we'll talk about modules in TypeScript. So I'll see you on the other side. Thanks a lot. Bye.